Good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of the damaging effects of COVID-19 pandemic. I'm your host Paul Harding, and today I'm going to talk to you about how the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the United States' international relationship with China and the World Health Organization. I have a lot of information to go over today, guys, so bear with me as I try to get through it all. I could talk about this for probably an hour and a half, but I got 8 minutes, so here we go. The coronavirus is affecting the United States. The coronavirus in the United States has affected the United States the most out of all countries in the world. Back in January, the coronavirus was a contained virus that was quite preventable. Chinese doctors at the time were being silenced for speaking out about it. Today I'm going to talk to you about how this could have been prevented in our country, how the World Health Organization receives its funding, who the director of the World Health Organization is and why that's important, how China's lack of cooperation with the United States and the rest of the world is affecting international relationships, and how this effect is causing tidal waves in other parts of the world. So let's get started. During the early stages of the coronavirus, China said they had this virus contained, and the World Health Organization director Tedros Adhanom praised China for having the virus contained. A day later, an article written by Peter Hansen that China said the virus was contained and that there was no human-to-human contact, the United States received its first confirmed COVID-19 case. This could have been prevented if China was more open about how the virus was spreading within their country. Why this is important? The World Health Organization receives 15% of its annual funding from the United States of America. Joshua Boosby wrote an article in the E-International Relations titled "The International Relations of the World and How It is Affected by COVID-19," which stated that in 2019, America gave $419 million of voluntary aid to the World Health Organization. Now, I'm not saying that we should not be helping other countries, but as you heard in Kyle's episode of the podcast, during this time, we have been short on medical supplies. We could have used that money to help our citizens, to help the dead in our country. In the last 10 years, we have given $2 billion of voluntary aid to the World Health Organization. Now, again, I'm not saying that we should not be helping the rest of the world. We should. But if we can't help ourselves, we can't help others first. Why this is important to know who the director of the World Health Organization is. Tedros Adhanom, I cannot really pronounce his last name, so we're going to just go with Tedros. Tedros, before he was the director of the World Health Organization, was the health minister for the country of Ethiopia. Also, in the article that Peter Hansen wrote for the National Interest, it discusses how back in 2017, prior to his appointment to the WHO, Tedros has been accused of covering up cholera epidemics in his country. Now, Peter Hansen is not the only source saying this. There are other reputable sources as far as the Washington Post, the New York Times, and the Wall Street Journal. All of them came out writing reports of that these cholera epidemics did happen, and it was kind of just swept under the rug. And to this day, Tedros is now the World Health Organization leader. How did this happen? China's influence in Africa has been quietly happening for the last 3 to 5 years. During that time period, China was putting money into African countries to allow for the footprints to be laid for Tedros to become the World Health Organization leader. Why this is important and how this affects us. Because Tedros took money from China, now China has an asset in the World Health Organization. China is trying very hard to be the next superpower of the world, financially, medically, and be the global superpower that we once were. Why this is affecting the rest of the world in the United States? Because of China and the United States' lack of cooperation during this time, multiple deaths in multiple countries could have been taken down and reduced if we would have been able to work together. What this also means for the United States is that our economy has dwindled because due to lockdowns and due to lack of work, lack of sales, our economy has diminished. But at the same time, China's economy has boomed. After their short lockdown period, they were able to get all of their people back to work. And now their country has a booming economy, and we are struggling. What this means for the United States. Unfortunately, due to these times, we are struggling economically. But what else has happened due to the coronavirus is in Hong Kong, China has tightened its grip there as well. And why this is important in the United States. Currently, the United States has 1,300 companies that are in Hong Kong with over 100,000 jobs. And if China is able to do what they want in Hong Kong, we will lose our ability to have aid in that country, to have a voice in that country, and allow our business to maintain in that country. Another problem with the COVID-19 and how this is affecting our country is there's so much shrouded mystery. Since China is a communist country, they do not have to release information as the rest of the world does. The World Health Organization has not pushed them to release numbers as they should have. China has only released that 4,634 of their own people have passed away. Where here in the United States, we're at 100,000 people. This is bad because we do not know if truly their numbers are correct or if we could have done things to prevent farther death in our country. So today I talked to you guys about how the World Health Organization and the coronavirus has affected international aid and our international relations within our country. I covered a lot of information really fast, and so if you guys want to check out where my information came from, I'll leave links below so you can go read that information for yourself. During these trying times of the COVID-19 and with everything happening in our country, it's important to remember that we as a nation have more in common than we have differences. It's important that we stay strong and that we understand that we are together and that we can get through anything that we put our minds through. The biggest thing that we have to remember is that we are here to all help each other. Thank you and have a good day.